What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about a problem in the YouTube fitness community that I think needs to be addressed, and that is thumbnails. So we all know that thumbnails have gotten crazy recently across the board. Every video is going to have the like Reddit soy jack react face with the open mouth and all. There's going to be laser eyes, whether lasers are a part of the video or not. There's usually going to be some pretty serious clickbait to get you to click, and that's across the board, all types of YouTube content. Probably annoys a lot of you guys. I know it annoys me. But there's a specific problem in fitness, and that is just blatant photoshopping of physiques. In most online fitness spaces, Photoshop is frowned upon for the most part. If you are getting caught doing it, people are going to call you out and shame you for it, and it's seen as a bad thing. But in YouTube fitness thumbnail game, just blatant Photoshop of physiques just seems to be a norm that's completely accepted. No one bothers to call you out. The reason I'm making this video now is because this thumbnail came across my YouTube feed. It's going to be here or maybe here. I've learned how to put um, second videos in my videos. I'm getting better with the DaVinci editing. So somewhere on this screen you'll be seeing the thumbnail that I'm talking about. I'm not gonna like name the content creator because I'm not. The issue is not just him. This is something that's pervasive. Even a lot of creators that I like and respect do this on YouTube. So I'm not gonna like hide his identity. You guys can obviously figure out who it is, but I'm also not gonna just call him out by name and make it about him because he's a fairly egregious offender, to be honest. He does this a lot. It's gotten to the point where I have a hard time telling how jacked he actually is because sometimes I'll see pictures where he does look like very jacked, and then sometimes I'll see him and I'll think he looks quite skinny. And I know that's a problem with like being a lankier individual. I'm kind of like that too. At some angles, I'm going to look skinnier, and some angles, I'm going to look a little bit more jacked, depending on. That's just kind of a lanky guy issue, but it's exaggerated by the fact that he does just blatantly use Photoshop a lot. But like I say, it's not just him. Like a lot of people, including folks that I respect that otherwise have like 100% scores for integrity, will just use blatantly Photoshop pictures of their physiques in thumbnails. And for some reason, that's treated as acceptable in YouTube fitness, where it wouldn't be treated as acceptable anywhere else. Like, there's it seems like we're on some level treating it as something that doesn't count. Like it's just there's like some kind of get out of jail free card when it's on the thumbnail. Um, but I mean, if you look at it, like what is the actual reason why posting uh, like a Photoshop progress pic is not acceptable on Instagram, but it is on YouTube thumbnails, right? And I mean, Instagram gets kind of a bad rap. It's like just a very, vapid, look at me, image obsessed platform. But there are standards, Obviously, people do Photoshop all the time, but they get caught and then they get shamed, and it's treated as a fairly serious issue. And if you do get caught photoshopping, people are gonna call you out, and there's definitely a culture that disincentivizes putting up Photoshop pictures, and you're definitely going to take big hits to your credibility if you get caught doing it, and it's just generally frowned upon. Um, Whereas it's just you get a free pass on YouTube, and like I say, it seems like people are treating it as something that doesn't count, but I mean, I think it does. In this video that I'm using as an example, the guy's saying that his forearms blew up after he started doing these two exercises. So clearly, there's the implication that this is like that there is an element of before after. My forearms got bigger. So if that's really the case, why couldn't you just shown a before and after picture? Why couldn't you just like shown your real progress? That would have had a lot more impact if it was real. I mean, the reality is, I don't think probably there was a whole lot of progress because, I mean, the guy's forearms are nothing to write home about even now, and the exercises he's using are very basic. And speaking as kind of that lanky guy that we talked about, you gotta get a little bit more than basic if you want your forearms to look impressive. I don't have the best forearms, but I've gotten them a little bit less skinny than they were. Actually, in this lighting, that actually looks pretty good. And, um, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'll get into recommendations on forums a little bit later, maybe. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is like what we should just there should still be the expectation that if you're a fitness content creator on YouTube, like you're going to be representing your physique fairly accurately. I mean, obviously, we're all going to use favorable lighting, posing, things of that nature. And that, that's part of the game. I mean, like, you can't obviously, lighting and posing has been part of bodybuilding since time immemorial. And, it's always treated as fair game, right? And, but Photoshop is frowned on everywhere else, and I just don't see a good reason for including it in thumbnails. Now, what people are going to push back on is, well, okay, well, we have to make a living. In the algorithm these days, you just have to have crazy thumbnails or nobody will click. Okay, well, that may be the meta right now, but what if we started pushing back on it? And that kind of falls on you, the YouTube audience, the YouTube fitness audience, to decide whether that's what you want. I mean, do you want to just be looking at Photoshop pictures of these guys, or do you want them to have to use the real pictures of their physique, albeit maybe, with lighting and posing and stuff like that, right? So I think if you guys start calling people out, like when someone puts a, a thumbnail of them blatantly photoshopped, or maybe they make a cartoon of their physique. I hate that. And guys, like, honestly, guys I respect and otherwise completely like will do that. I hate the cartoons. Like, don't make a cartoon. Why would you make an AI cartoon of yourself? Just get in the best pose you can, the best lighting possible. Hell, let you know a little secret. Some of the pictures I post to Instagram, I do run that auto filter. I have a Samsung, and sometimes when you tab over from just like regular to like the auto filter, it kind of hooks it up a little bit, but it's not Photoshop. It's just like altering the, I guess, lighting or whatever. But why are we doing cartoons? I hate that anyway. But back to the point. I think it falls on the YouTube audience. Um, to call people out on that. I mean, even if it does get clicks, like even if it does get more clicks, just statistically, you can show that when you use Photoshop, that gets you more views. If a bunch of people are in there commenting, "Hey, why did you Photoshop your physique?" Like that's bad or whatever. People respond to negative feedback. I think a lot of these people probably wouldn't want to have, a substantial portion of their audience letting them know that they don't approve of this, they don't like this, and they'd like to see something different. I think that would have an impact, and or if creators started calling out other creators. Now we're not at a place where that can happen because everyone's doing it, so no one is in a place where they can throw stones, right? Well, except me. I don't even know how to use Photoshop. Like I said, I can use a little Samsung, the Samsung Gallery thing. Like I tab over in Samsung Gallery. But as far as like cracking open the Adobe, I don't know how to do that yet. Um, where was I going with that? Anyway, yeah. So I mean, once as we move forward, that can be something that creators police a little bit more. But for now, it's just it's on the audience. Like if you guys don't like just blatant Photoshop, just feel free to comment on the thumbnail. Like if you get tired of the other stuff too, like the laser eyes and the on the other over the top nonsense. You guys have power. You guys have a voice. If a bunch of people are commenting, hey, dude, ditch the laser eyes. This stuff is corny. Hey, stop photoshopping your forearm. Your forearm didn't go from like starving anorexic to decent looking in one bulk. Like, show us the real gains. Like, people are going to listen and they're going to stop doing that trash. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say on this. Just in with a call to action to you guys, the audience. And I'm a small channel, but you guys can watch big channels and small channels. Comment on the big channels. Maybe start with a medium sized channel. So you see somebody who's a little bit more medium sized, and they might be more responsive to criticism. You see them do that. Call them out on it. Let's build some momentum up and get these people to stop doing photoshopped thumbnails. I don't think it should be too crazy of a standard to say if you wouldn't post it on Instagram, you shouldn't be posting it on YouTube. 'Cause, I mean, the bar is fairly low as to integrity on Instagram, right? I Since we're on the topic of forearms, I will say that two exercises that are way more effective than what this dude posted are the gooseneck wrist curl, popularized by Chuck Sipes, and then the barbell wrist curl using a specialized bench that's described by Larry Scott. You can Google this stuff. You can find it on Google, or if you just want to find it conveniently sourced for you, you can pick up my book, Old Time Lifts for Modern Lifters. It's in there. But I mean, I'm not gonna paywall it. You do your own research on Google if you want to. But that stuff will work way better than this like science based nonsense. But like I say, that this isn't a reaction video. Um, yeah. All right. That's all I wanted to say. Um, or if you care about other body parts too, you can also consider picking up the program that I just dropped, Parking Lot Bodybuilding. It'll work fantastically for pretty much any equipment level. As long as you have a barbell, you're good to go. Barbell gymnastics rings and bands, that's all you need. Very cheap, very low barrier to entry. Getting a lot of good feedback on it so far, so go ahead and pick that up. But yeah, my main call to action here. I mean, if you guys do that or not, whatever. But start commenting on these people when they post trash that they shouldn't be posting in their thumbnails. Like the thumbnail is a part of the video, and I mean, like to be honest, as a smaller creator who's like trying to find the momentum to continue posting on, or not momentum, sorry, the motivation to keep posting on YouTube when like my native platform's Instagram. And to be honest, I kind of prefer that in a lot of cases. Um, It's like the most annoying thing about this is the thumbnails because I just hate them. Like I take pride in putting like good pictures on Instagram that look good, look the way I want them to, show my physique in a good light, or just are cool. Like I like that. Um, I hate trying to make a YouTube thumbnail because you just have to do a bunch of trash I don't like in there. So I would like if the culture changed to a little bit more like low key, just realistic and not like stupid red faces and like laser eyes and nonsense, but especially not like Photoshop physiques. I don't like that at all. I hope most of you guys don't like that. And if you don't, start using your voice. Let these people know we want something that's a little bit higher quality. All right, that's all I had to say. Thanks for watching, guys.